Who's the Boss? 1984 to 1992 was one of the most beloved sitcoms of its time, charming audiences with its heartwarming humor and unforgettable characters. Starring Tony Danza, Judith Light, Alyssa Milano, and more, the show became a defining part of 80s and early 90s television. But what happened to the cast after the series ended? Some found continued success in Hollywood, while others faced struggles, personal tragedies, and heartbreaking losses. Now, 41 years later, we take a look at where the stars are in 2025, who is still in the spotlight, and who has faced unexpected challenges. Katherine Helmont, born on July 5, 1929, played Mona Robinson in 1984 at the age of 55. Mona, the carefree, flirtatious, and witty grandmother, was a character who brought levity to the show with her vibrant personality and sharp one-liners. Despite her charm and energy on screen, Katherine's life was marred by personal and professional struggles that never quite matched the vivacity of her character. Her career, though filled with notable television roles, was overshadowed by a constant battle to break free from being typecast. After Who's the Boss?, Katherine struggled to find roles that matched her comedic talents, and many of her acting opportunities dwindled. In her personal life, Katherine faced two failed marriages, the first with Jack Helmont, a marriage she described as emotionally taxing and fraught with neglect. She had no children of her own, which contributed to her sense of isolation. As she aged, Katherine faced the painful reality of being forgotten by the public eye, compounded by the loneliness that came with it. Later in life, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a cruel twist of fate for someone who had spent a lifetime bringing joy to others with her quick wit and humor. The disease slowly robbed her of the very memory that had once made her beloved to so many. She passed away on February 23, 2019, at the age of 89. Walter Olkwich, born on May 14, 1948, played Tiny McGee in 1987 at the age of 39. Tiny was a minor character, known for his humorous interactions with the main cast, a warm and approachable figure who provided comic relief. Despite the charm of his character, Walter Olkwich's life was filled with unforeseen tragedies and professional setbacks. After his role in Who's the Boss?, Olkwich struggled to secure major roles, often relegated to minor parts in television and film. His career, which seemed promising early on, faltered, and he faced the harsh reality of an industry that had moved on without him. In his personal life, Olkwich's struggles with addiction became a significant issue, leading to personal and professional turmoil. His relationships were marked by instability, and he never married, remaining without the companionship and support that many people take for granted. Health issues compounded his challenges, he battled severe financial difficulties, and his struggle with alcohol only deepened the isolation. In 2015, he was diagnosed with a debilitating illness that left him in a fragile state, both physically and mentally. His final years were marked by a slow decline, isolated from many of his former colleagues. Walter passed away on April 6, 2021, at the age of 72, after a long and painful illness. Earl Boen, who portrayed Jim Peterson in 1984 at the age of 43, was born on August 8, 1941. Jim was Angela Bauer's boss, a character defined by his stern yet supportive demeanor, guiding Angela through her professional life. Earl Boen's portrayal was one of depth, though it was often overshadowed by the more prominent roles in the show. Throughout his career, Boen found a niche in voice acting, notably lending his voice to the Terminator franchise, but his real-life struggles were far more complicated. In his personal life, Earl struggled with loneliness, finding it difficult to forge lasting relationships. He married and divorced twice, both marriages ending in emotional scars. He never had children, which left him without the family support that many actors rely on as they age. As his career began to slow, Boen faced the painful realization that his most iconic roles, including that of Jim Peterson, had become distant memories to audiences. The later years of his life were marked by a battle with lung cancer, which he fought valiantly but which ultimately took its toll on his body and spirit. He passed away on January 5, 2023, at the age of 81, from complications of lung cancer, leaving behind a legacy of solid performances in both television and film. Frank Pesci, born on December 8, 1946, portrayed the bailiff in 1985 at the age of 39. As the courtroom bailiff, he was a stern yet fair figure, always enforcing order with a quiet authority. Despite his minor role in Who's the Boss, his character left a mark through his consistent presence. Pesci's career, however, didn't experience the same steady rise as his character did. After Who's the Boss, Pesci found himself struggling to land prominent roles, often relegated to small parts in TV shows and films, never quite escaping the shadow of his early success. His personal life was marred by heartache as well, with multiple failed relationships and struggles with maintaining lasting connections. Though he never married, his long-term relationships were fraught with emotional turmoil, further isolating him from the happiness he longed for. Pesci battled with alcoholism for many years, which compounded his personal difficulties. As time went on, his health began to deteriorate, and he was diagnosed with dementia, a cruel twist that slowly stripped him of his ability to remember his once promising career and the people who loved him. On February 6, 2022, Pesci passed away at the age of 75, his death the result of complications from his dementia. James Coco, who played Nick Milano in 1985 at the age of 55, was born on March 21, 1930. Nick Milano was a charming and humorous character, often adding levity to the show with his witty banter and lighthearted interactions with the main cast. However, James Coco's life off-screen was less than comedic. His acting career was initially filled with promise, but by the time he landed the role of Nick, his personal struggles were already evident. After a series of failed marriages, Coco found himself embroiled in loneliness, despite his successful career in film and television. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and although he later remarried, that relationship also fell apart, leaving him to raise a son alone. The strain of these failed marriages, along with the pressures of his career, led Coco into deep bouts of depression and alcoholism. His health began to suffer as a result, and in the final years of his life, his physical appearance began to deteriorate rapidly. Despite a successful and prolific career, it seemed the weight of his personal pain overshadowed his professional accomplishments. At the age of 56, on February 25, 1987, Coco passed away from a heart attack. His death was sudden and tragic, his life taken too early due to the toll of both his emotional struggles and his deteriorating health. Tony Danza, born on April 21, 1951, portrayed Tony Maselli in 1984 at the age of 33, became a beloved figure as the hard-working, charming housekeeper who constantly juggled his responsibilities at home with his emotional ties to his new family. While his character exuded warmth, Tony's real-life struggles were far more complicated. His first marriage to Rhonda Yeoman ended in divorce, a painful chapter that led to emotional distress and personal disillusionment. Despite raising 2 children from this relationship, Tony's struggles didn't end there. His second marriage to Tracy Robinson, though lasting for nearly 2 decades, also ended in separation, leaving Tony with deep feelings of failure. Throughout his career, Danza faced a series of career ups and downs, and while he was typecast after Who's the Boss, his post-TV career as a stage performer and talk show host did not bring the same success. Behind the scenes, Tony battled with depression, which led to substance abuse issues, including alcohol. These challenges cast a shadow on his personal happiness. Despite all of this, Danza found solace in his family and later focused on writing and hosting. Now at 73 years old, he continues to work but lives a much quieter life, having made peace with his turbulent past and finding a sense of stability in his later years, though the scars remain. Bill Irwin, who portrayed Leon in 1984 at the age of 70, was born on December 2, 1914. Leon was a minor but memorable character in Who's the Boss, known for his grumpy yet endearing personality, often providing comic relief in the midst of the more serious storylines. Irwin's portrayal of Leon showcased his ability to find humor in the most unlikely of characters. But despite his charming performances on screen, Irwin's personal life was marked by profound loss and difficulty. After the death of his first wife, Irwin struggled with isolation and grief, never truly finding the kind of companionship he longed for. His later years were marred by chronic health problems, as he suffered from arthritis and other ailments that slowed him down and caused him great discomfort. Although he continued to act in his senior years, his career lacked the same sparkle it had when he was younger, and he often found himself in minor roles. His emotional health took a toll as well, and Irwin was open about his struggles with depression, which deepened following the death of his beloved second wife. As he reached his later years, he was forced to confront the loneliness that had plagued him throughout his life. Bill Irwin passed away on December 29, 2010, at the age of 96 from natural causes. Judith Light, born on February 9, 1949, portrayed the ambitious and strong-willed Angela Bauer on Who's the Boss? Starting in 1984 at the age of 35, became a symbol of the working woman, always balancing the pressures of her career with motherhood. In real life, however, Judith's personal life was not as smooth as her characters. Her first marriage to Bruce Hurwitz ended quickly, but her second marriage to actor Robert Desiderio lasted over 2 decades. However, even this relationship was not without its difficulties, eventually ending in a separation. Throughout her personal life, Judith struggled with feelings of isolation and loneliness. The pressures of her successful career sometimes clashed with her need for emotional fulfillment. Though she continued to flourish professionally, appearing in numerous TV roles and on Broadway, Judith's personal happiness was often overshadowed by the turbulence in her relationships. As the years went on, she found comfort in her charitable work and activism, often focusing on causes close to her heart, including women's rights. As of 2025, at the age of 76, Judith continues to thrive in Hollywood, though her journey has been one of constant reflection and self-healing, dealing with the emotional scars of her earlier relationships, while continuing to make an impact in the industry and beyond. Alyssa Milano, born on December 19, 1972, played Samantha Maselli in 1984 at the age of 12, captivated audiences as the sweet, intelligent daughter navigating adolescence with grace. In real life, Alyssa's early career brought her both fame and immense pressure. She grew up in the public eye, and like many child stars, she struggled with the intense scrutiny and expectations placed on her. Alyssa's first marriage to St. John Tate, a musician, ended in divorce, and her second marriage to David Buglieri, while initially seeming more stable, also faced difficulties, including public strain. Aside from relationship challenges, Alyssa struggled with body image issues and the toll of constant media attention. As she entered adulthood, Alyssa turned her focus toward activism, using her platform to speak out on issues such as women's rights and social justice. Despite her efforts to build a meaningful career and family life, Alyssa has often been haunted by the struggles of growing up in the spotlight. As of 2025, at 52, Alyssa continues to balance her acting career and activism, but the scars of her past experiences still shape her journey as she seeks lasting peace and fulfillment in both her professional and personal life. Rhoda Gimignani, born on October 21, 1939, played Mrs. Rossini in 1984 at the age of 45. Mrs. Rossini was the wise and nurturing neighbor who served as a constant source of support for the Bauer family, offering comfort, advice, and a caring shoulder to lean on. Gimignani's portrayal of the kind-hearted neighbor made her a beloved character on the show, but her own life was filled with hardship that mirrored the tough circumstances of her on-screen persona. Behind the scenes, Gimignani struggled with the pressures of being an older actress in a competitive industry, leading to a difficult period of financial instability. Her personal life was marked by a series of tragic losses, including the untimely death of her only sibling, which left her devastated and grieving. The actress also faced serious health battles, including multiple surgeries that temporarily sidelined her career. She faced marital issues as well, with a painful divorce after a long marriage in the 1990s, leading her to raise her 2 children alone. Despite her success on the show, Rhoda's life was far from the picture-perfect existence her character embodied. By 2025, now 85 years old, Jamignani has largely retreated from public life, still coping with the emotional scars of the past while reflecting on the many personal battles she has fought. Danny Pintorro, who portrayed Jonathan Bauer on Who's the Boss? In 1984, at the tender age of 8, was born on January 6, 1976. Jonathan was the sweet, innocent son who captured the hearts of audiences with his playful nature, often serving as the light-hearted contrast to the adult characters' more complex lives. His character's curiosity and naivety made him endearing to viewers, and Pintorro's performance was widely praised. However, the pressures of child stardom would soon take a toll on Pintorro's personal life. As his career progressed, he struggled to transition from a child actor to an adult in a harsh industry that often leaves young stars behind. His most devastating personal challenge came when he revealed in 2015 that he had been secretly battling a crystal meth addiction for years, something that was concealed from the public eye for decades. Beyond the addiction, Pintorro's romantic relationships were also filled with heartbreak, including a high-profile relationship that ended in bitterness and mistrust. He eventually married in 2016, but his journey through emotional turmoil, addiction, and the difficulties of finding happiness in the public eye continued to haunt him. By 2025, now 49 years old, Danny Pintorro is still working on rebuilding his life and career, though the scars of his past remain. Billy Gallo, born on November 7, 1966, portrayed Al in 1989 at the age of 23. Al was a charming, affable character who became part of the Bauer family's extended circle of friends, often appearing in social settings with his trademark charisma and friendliness. Gallo's portrayal of the role earned him a lasting spot in the hearts of fans, but his personal life was anything but easy. As a young actor, Gallo found it difficult to break free from the shadow of his role, struggling to find substantial work in Hollywood after Who's the Boss? Wrapped in 1992. His career stagnated, leading to feelings of frustration and regret. Gallo's personal life was filled with its own share of turmoil, including an unhealthy marriage that ended in a painful divorce. He also faced financial difficulties, as the promise of his early success quickly faded. But perhaps the most heartbreaking chapter of Gallo's life came in 2001, when he was diagnosed with a severe health condition that led to months of debilitating treatments, forcing him to step away from the public eye. During this period, Gallo faced deep bouts of depression, isolation, and emotional despair, unable to reconcile his former life with his current struggles. As of 2025, at the age of 58, Billy Gallo has made a modest return to acting but still grapples with the emotional scars left by his past. Nicole Eggert, born on January 13, 1972, portrayed Marcy Ferguson in 1985 at the age of 13, was a bright and energetic presence on the show, playing a bubbly and outgoing character who quickly became a friend to Samantha Micelli. Marcy's role was often lighthearted and fun, adding youthful charm to the series. However, Nicole's personal life has been anything but carefree. Her career in Hollywood, though promising, was marred by struggles with exploitation and mental health issues. As Nicole transitioned into adulthood, the weight of her past experiences became more apparent. Despite her fame, Nicole had a tumultuous personal life, marked by relationships that ended painfully. She was briefly married, but the union ended in divorce, leaving her to raise 2 children on her own. Her battles with body image issues, self-esteem, and the pressures of maintaining a public persona led to depression and anxiety, making her emotional well-being a constant challenge. Nicole's life has been a series of ups and downs, with the high of fame followed by the low of personal loss and public scrutiny. As of 2025, at 53, Nicole has largely retreated from the spotlight, living a quieter life and attempting to find stability after a career that left deep emotional scars. Robin Thomas, born on February 12, 1949, took on the role of Jeffrey Wells in 1986 at the age of 37, was a sophisticated and charming figure, bringing depth to the series as a love interest for Angela Bauer. Jeffrey was suave and well-spoken, but his character's charm masked a certain vulnerability that Robin himself would come to embody in his personal life. While his career seemed to flourish in the 1980s, with television and film roles that showcased his talent, Robin's professional life was marred by his inability to break into the leading roles he aspired to. His career slowly faltered, and he was relegated to smaller parts, often playing secondary or supporting characters. Robin's personal life mirrored his professional struggles. His marriage was fraught with difficulties, and after years of trying to make it work, his relationship ended in a painful divorce. He has 2 children, but his relationship with them was strained, and the emotional toll of being away from them during crucial years weighed heavily on him. The loss of his career momentum, coupled with his personal pain, left Robin feeling adrift. By 2025, at the age of 76, Robin has stepped away from acting, living a quiet and isolated life, away from the limelight. His former dreams of leading roles and lasting fame have faded into memories of a time when things seemed more promising. Vic Polizos, born on August 12, 1947, portrayed Joe Thomopoulos in 1992 at the age of 45, was a minor yet memorable character, known for his friendly and supportive demeanor. Joe was often seen as a reliable figure who interacted with the main cast, adding warmth to the show's later years. While his role on Who's the Boss was limited, Vic's personal life and career faced a series of bitter disappointments. His acting career never reached the heights he had hoped for, and he found himself often cast in minor roles, struggling for recognition. His personal life, too, was marred by hardship. Vic's marriage ended in divorce, and he had difficulty maintaining any long-term romantic relationships. He never had children, but the emotional toll of his failed marriages left him with a deep sense of regret. The passing of years brought more challenges, as Vic battled with financial instability and health issues. His career, which he had once thought would soar, fell short, leaving him with feelings of inadequacy. By 2025, at 77, Vic has largely withdrawn from acting, living a quiet life in relative obscurity. Despite his role as a beloved minor character on Who's the Boss, his life has been a stark contrast to the affable persona he portrayed on screen, marked by personal losses and financial struggles. Who is your favorite character from Who's the Boss? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.